Hello, today is the last lecture of this paper, and today we will discuss some examples. So, we are going to discuss some examples. Example is that if A and B are two matrices of the same type, means AB are two matrices of the same order, then AB and BA have the same characteristic roots. Okay, means AB and BA have the same eigenvalues, characteristic vectors. Solution: let R be the rank of the matrix C. Then there exists a non-singular matrix. There exist non-singular matrices P and Q such that PAQ is equal to matrix IR 0 in first row and in second row 0 0, and let it be equation number 1. Okay, we have this written by the property. Now we consider P A B P inverse. P A B P inverse, and this is equal to, it may be written as PAQ in one bracket and multiplied by in second bracket we have Q inverse BP inverse, and let it be equation number 2. Now we assume that Q inverse BP inverse is written as C11 C12 in first row, and in second row we have C21 C22, where C11 is an R cross R matrix. Similarly, C12 is also R cross R matrix. Then we may have PAB P inverse is equal to, we put the value of PAQ as IR0, matrix IR0 in first row, and in second row we have 0 0, and the value of Q inverse B P inverse, this is multiplied by C11 C12 C21 C22 in second row, and when we multiply this we will have in first row as C11 C12, and in last row we have 0 0, and let it be equation number 3. Also we have Q inverse BAQ. This may be written as Q inverse B P inverse in one bracket and multiplied by another bracket PAQ, and this is your equal to matrix C11 C12 in first row, and in second row we have C21 C22 multiplied by IR0 0 0, and thus we may have Q inverse BA Q is equal to, we have C11 0 and C21 0. Means after multiplication you will get this, and let it be equation number 4. So from 3 and 4 we see that the characteristic roots of P A B P inverse and Q inverse B A Q are the same as these of C11 along with n minus r roots and each equal to 0. But the matrices AB and PABP inverse have the same characteristic roots also. The matrices BA and Q inverse BAQ have the same characteristic roots. Hence, the matrices AB and BA have the same characteristic roots. Here you have only to decide how to decide Q inverse B P inverse, okay, and in this way we will solve this problem, and this is very important. Now we consider next example. Prove that plus minus 1 can be the only real characteristic roots, can be only real characteristic roots of an orthogonal matrices. Okay, you know the property of orthogonal matrices. Now we have the solution. We know that the characteristic roots of an orthogonal matrix are of unit modulus. Okay, and since plus minus 1 are the only real numbers of unit modulus, therefore plus minus 1 are the only real numbers which can be the characteristic vector of an orthogonal matrix. Okay, now we will discuss next example. Example is that if A is a both real symmetric as well as orthogonal matrix, then all its eigenvalues are plus or minus 1. So it solution is very simple. Okay, means if A is both real symmetric and orthogonal, then all its eigenvalues will be plus 1 or minus 1. We have the solution. If A is a real symmetric matrix, then all its eigenvalues are real. This is by the property theorem. Further, if A is orthogonal, then all the eigenvalues must be of unit modulus. Okay, now plus minus 1 are the only real numbers of unit modulus. Okay, therefore A is both real, symmetric and orthogonal. Then all its eigenvalues are plus 1 or minus 1. These are some examples. Now we will discuss another example which is very important for you. Example is that find the characteristic roots of two row orthogonal matrices. In first row we have cos theta minus sin theta, and in second row we have sin theta cos theta. Okay, and verify that they are of unit modulus. Means you have to verify that these are of unit modulus. Proof: we suppose that A is equal to cos theta minus sin theta cos theta. Then we have the characteristic equation, that is A minus lambda I is equal to 0. This implies that cos theta minus lambda minus sin theta in first row, and in second row we have sin theta cos theta minus 1, and this is equal to 0. It implies that cos theta minus lambda square, and this is plus sin square theta. From, and let it be star, from star we get cos theta minus lambda square is equal to minus sin square theta, and this implies that cos theta minus lambda is equal to plus minus I sin theta. It means lambda is equal to cos theta plus minus I sin theta. Okay, it may be written as, thus cos theta plus minus I sin theta are the characteristic root of A, and we have determinant cos theta plus I sin theta is equal to under root cos square theta plus sin square theta is equal to 1. Here we have to understand that thus cos theta plus minus 1, cos theta plus minus I sin theta are the characteristic root of A, and we have cos theta plus I sin theta, determinant of cos theta plus I sin theta is equal to cos square theta plus sin square theta, and this is equal to 1. Similarly, we may have cos theta minus sin theta, determinant of cos theta minus I sin theta is equal to cos square theta plus sin square theta, and this is equal to 1. So this is very simple example. Do yourself try. Now next we have two very important theorem, that is example. We have example, if capital S is an n-rowed real skew symmetric matrix, means it is n row, means have n row, and also it is real, and also it is skew, and as well as symmetric. So if S is an n row real skew symmetric matrix and I is the unit modulus, I is the unit matrix of order n, then show that number 1, I minus S is non-singular. Number 2, A is equal to I plus S into I minus S inverse is orthogonal. And number 3, A is equal to I minus S का inverse into I plus S. Number 4, you have to show that if X is a characteristic vector of S corresponding to the characteristic root lambda, then X is also a characteristic vector of A, and 1 plus lambda upon 1 minus lambda is the corresponding characteristic root. So we have the solution. We will prove this one by one. Solution: since S is a real skew symmetric matrix, therefore the characteristic roots of S are either 0 or pure imaginary. Okay. Hence, the roots of the equation determinant S minus lambda I are either pure imaginary or pure imaginary, and I is not a root of the equation. Okay. So determinant S minus lambda I is equal to 0, that is characteristic equation. This implies that S minus determinant S minus I is not equal to 0. Okay. And this implies that S minus I is non-zero, non-singular. This implies that I minus S is also non-singular. Now we have again, let A is equal to I plus S in first bracket. In second bracket we have I minus S inverse. This implies A dash is equal to, in bracket, I plus S I minus S inverse and a whole transpose. So we have A dash is equal to I plus S dash ka inverse and I minus S dash ka inverse into I plus S dash. But I minus S dash may be written as I dash minus S, and this is equal to I plus S. Since S is a skew symmetric, it implies that S dash is equal to minus S. Also we see that I plus S dash is equal to I dash plus S dash, and this may be written as I minus S. Okay, since S dash is equal to minus S, this implies that A dash A is equal to I plus S inverse I minus S once again. A dash A is equal to I plus S inverse and into I minus S, one bracket, and next bracket we have I plus S I minus S ka inverse, and this is equal to I plus S inverse I in one bracket. In another bracket we have I plus S into I minus S into I plus S ka inverse. Since I minus S and I plus S are commutative, this implies that I plus S dash inverse and I plus S is equal to I. Similarly, I minus S inverse is equal to I, and this is equal to I. This implies that A is orthogonal. Last, since I plus S and I minus S are commutative, therefore I plus S I minus S is equal to I minus S in one bracket, and in another bracket we have I plus S. Now pre-multiplying both sides of 1, give above equation as equation number 1. Pre-multiplying both sides of 1 by I minus S inverse and post multiplying by I minus S inverse, we get I minus S inverse I plus S I minus S I minus S inverse. This may be written as I minus S inverse I minus S I plus S and I minus S inverse. This implies that I minus S ka inverse and I plus S, and this is your equal to I plus S and I minus S inverse, and this implies that A is equal to I plus S I minus S का inverse, that is I minus S का inverse into I plus S. Okay, and lastly we have next, and this is very important and it is sometimes asked in your exam, so prepare this. Suppose lambda is a characteristic root of matrix S and x is the corresponding vector, then Sx is equal to lambda x. It may be written, and this is that x plus 6 x plus Sx is equal to x plus lambda x, and this implies that I plus S x is equal to 1 plus lambda multiplied by x. Therefore x plus Sx is equal to x plus lambda x. This implies that I plus Sx is equal to 1 plus lambda x. Similarly, we can have I minus S into x is equal to 1 minus lambda x. Now pre-multiplying both sides by both sides, we get I minus S inverse into I minus S x equal to I minus S inverse 1 minus lambda x, and this is your equal to, this implies that x is equal to 1 minus lambda in one bracket, in second bracket I minus S ka inverse x, and this implies that 1 minus I lambda to power 1 into x, and this is equal to 1 minus S I inverse x. This implies that I minus S ka inverse into x is equal to 1 minus lambda inverse x, and let it be equation number 4. Now pre-multiplying equation number 2 by I minus S inverse, we get I minus S ka inverse I plus S x is equal to 1 plus lambda I minus S inverse x. This implies I minus S inverse into I plus S x is equal to 1 plus lambda 1 minus lambda inverse x using 4, and this implies that 1 plus lambda 1 minus lambda into x is okay. This once again this is implies that I minus S inverse I plus S x is equal to 1 plus lambda upon 1 minus lambda x, and this implies that I plus S upon I minus S x is equal to 1 plus lambda upon 1 minus lambda into x. Now if x is a characteristic vector of A, therefore I minus S ka inverse I plus S and 1 plus lambda upon 1 minus lambda is the corresponding characteristic root. So this is very important for you. Prepare these questions. We will consider last example. Let S be a skew Hermitian matrix, then show that the matrices I minus S and I plus S are both non-singular. Okay, A is A is a is a Once again, if S is a skew Hermitian matrix, then you have to show that matrices I minus S and I plus S are both non-singular. Also, you have to show that A is equal to I plus S, I minus S inverse is a unitary matrix. Okay, proof is very simple. Since S is a skew Hermitian matrix, therefore eigenvalues of S are either pure imaginary or 0. This is by property. So neither 1 or minus 1 is a root of the equation determinant S minus lambda I is equal to 0. Therefore neither determinant S minus I is equal to 0 nor determinant S plus I is equal to 0. So both I minus S and I plus S are non-singular matrices. Now we suppose that A is equal to I plus S, I minus S inverse. This implies that A theta is equal to I minus S inverse theta, I plus S theta. And this is your equal to I minus S theta ka inverse multiplied by 1 I plus S theta, and this is equal to I theta minus S theta. So we have A theta is equal to I plus S ka inverse I minus S. Since S is a skew Hermitian, it means S theta is equal to minus S. Now we can find A theta A. So we have A theta A is equal to I plus S inverse I minus S Z plus S, not Z, I plus S inverse I minus S multiplied by I plus S and I minus S inverse, and this is your equal to I plus S inverse multiplied by I plus S, I minus S and I minus S inverse. Since determinant I plus S and determinant I minus S are commutative, so now this is we have T, we have 1 dot 1, that is 1. So we see that A theta A comes out to be I. It means A is unitary matrix. So this is the last lecture of the paper, and if you have any problem then discuss with me. Next time we will discuss our next paper, and that is related to parametric, non-parametric and other topics. So thank you.